Welcome back to Head Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac from Roby Electric, along with Trent Haston from the Roby family of companies. We are your hosts. Trent, we got Mike Waite in the house.
Mike Waite in the house. Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Mike Waite is in the house.
Always happy to be here, fellas.
The legendary, the one and only Mike Waite. Mike, how many boards of directors are you on in Charlotte right now?
I have eliminated a few, and I'm down to 3 nonprofit boards of directors.
3 nonprofit. Can you give us a rundown?
Well, one is a professional association, Business Leaders of Charlotte. I've been part of that for 15 years.
Block.
Yeah, Block, the acronym. And I also have been on the board of directors for Charlotte Area Fund. That's a community action agency, 50-plus years in this community, working with families in poverty. Sit on the board of directors for a lot of foundations, committed to doing a lot of good.
I hear you, and we have you on the show because you're such a friend of the Roby family. You are the executive director of the Charlotte chapter of NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry. I think you're rolling into your 5th full year here of being the EO. Is that right?
I just completed my 5th year, so I'm beginning my 6th year as executive director of NARI Charlotte.
How'd y'all like that, audience? We teed him up to add another year to his resume. No, but it was funny. You and I had breakfast this week, and we were reminiscing and talking about when you were initially interviewed by the board. I was still on the NARI board at the time. I was actually out west. You hearkened this memory, shook it in my head. In 2011, I was at the Make-A-Wish National Board meeting out in Phoenix, Arizona, and I stepped out of my meeting to get on the call with you, and then I served a year on the board under your leadership, and then y'all kicked me off.
Yeah, we thought addition by subtraction was a good formula for us.
Lesson of the day, audience: addition by subtraction, whatever the heck that means.
Focused.
But no, you've been a wonderful leader. You've been and become a wonderful friend. But just to fresh everybody in the audience of what the National Association of the Remodeling Industry does.
Well, the National Association of Remodeling is a national, of course, since that's in the title. It's a national association. It's the sole professional association that's dedicated to the remodeling industry. It's not just the remodelers. Patrick reminds me of this, or he had taught me that.
Look what I wrote down and underlined.
How about that? It's the entire industry. So that means subcontractors, suppliers, vendors, manufacturers, all the business services that help those businesses stay afloat are part of the industry. These are your licensed, insured, good citizens, good business owners, guys that pay their bills on time, the kind of people you want in your house without taking on liability. The remodelers, as you know, have a different relationship with homeowner. It's not like the custom home builder that sees them out on the job site every now and then. We're getting into people's homes, trying to integrate our schedules with somebody's family, with their things, with their pets, with their schedules. So there's some risk there. And these are the guys you want in your house.
So being part of NARI, I mean, and being the Roby family, if you don't know out in the audience, or if you do know, the traditional business of the Roby family of companies, the 67 years old that Andrew Roby started, and my granddad was his first employee, is called Andrew Roby Incorporated, which is a remodeling company. So we feel very indebted to NARI. I got involved on the NARI board in 2000, right when I was fresh out of college as a kid with a bowl cut and 2 lines below it. No, I didn't. I graduated from that haircut in high school.
Before or after the earring?
No earring either. I was past the earring.
Got it.
But it is our staple, and it's what we've been spinning our brand off. But it's also, remodeling is a tough business, and working in people's home when they live in the home is tough. And it can have, nationally, over the years, a tough reputation because there's some shady people out there in any industry. But when you're in somebody's home and all that, you need to be that higher of a level of accountability and ethics. And NARI does that. NARI attracts the ethical companies and then holds them accountable and educates. And I'm grateful for that.
Well, you said Andrew Roby was indebted to NARI, but it goes in the other direction, too. We're proud of the Andrew Roby brand. We tout it as one of our not just flagship companies, but when we're talking to prospective members and they say, well, who are your members? You're on the short list that I like to share because it's a model of success, doing things right, integrity, ethics, all the things you mentioned.
But we were talking, it's my year serving on the board, and then I was the president in 2005, and then Patrick just rolled off his second presidency as the president of Roby Electric, second presidency of NARI, second year term. And then we still have David McGuire from the Roby family of companies. Andrew Roby is now the treasurer on the board in 2017, I think you said. But we lead and we learn both. And NARI taught me a lot. And the networking aspect of it, getting people together like-minded, trying to succeed. I know we started the book club some years ago. Our last show on this radio was talking about 3 of our favorite books here at the Roby family, and my favorite books. We've talked about all 3 of those books in our NARI book club, which is about 10 to 20 people of our industry, a lot of remodelers, get together, read a book, and talk about it. And it's just sharing education and trying to hold each other accountable to improve. And people that you would oftentimes think shouldn't get along and are rivals, we want to break those barriers and be allies in the industry so the whole industry can do better, Mike. And you do a great job leading that. Well,
we've never even felt a sense of, hey, I'm in the room with a bunch of competitors. It really is, I'm in a room with...
It doesn't feel like that at all.
It never has. But I have the opportunity to travel to other parts of the country and work with other professional associations. And in addition to learning, this is unusual what you see here in NARI Charlotte. This feeling of family, this feeling of, hey, I'm in a room with either mentors or people that can help me be more successful, go-to professionals.
Well, and Mike, if I'm a homeowner listening right now, and maybe I'm not part of the industry, which I think you did a really good job of clarifying that you don't have to be a contractor. A lot of people can be part of this industry and be part of NARI. But as a homeowner, I think that we need to tell people there's a directory that we have and a Facebook page that they can access that directory to locate and put themselves in touch with these levels of professionals. Can you talk about sort of, if I'm a homeowner, what can NARI do for me?
Well, we do a very thorough job of vetting our members. So we're doing that for the homeowner. Our members are carrying our brand into the home as well. So the homeowner can be assured that, hey, these are companies that have a track record, that it's not a trail of destruction, but it's actually a track record that's positive. We not only do we vet carefully, just because a company or prospective member will cut a check for membership dues doesn't mean they're a member. They have to have conducted business in a positive manner. We're bound together by our code of ethics, and that's something we take carefully. And when you sign an ethics clause, if you will, when you become a member, you also take on the responsibility of policing the membership.
Right.
And so the homeowners, I think it's prudent for a homeowner to, when you're taking bids and you're vetting your prospective contractors, people that are going to come into your house, NARI should be a seal of a level of approval. Now, it doesn't do all the work for you, but it's doing some of the work for you.
Well, and to touch on that, Mike, nobody's perfect, especially in the world that we live in. Variables occur, and I think that what a homeowner needs to understand about hiring a NARI contractor is you want somebody that if something starts to get a little squirrely and goes off the rails a little bit, is going to be there for you and is going to stick around and make sure the project is completed correctly. Because if not, the homeowner really can reach out to NARI and almost put a complaint in similar to the Better Business Bureau. I mean, that's that accurate?
It is. Yeah, we have a grievance process for. You're right.
So it gives them an extra level of security.
Yeah, and I mentioned that our members police themselves because they're bound by the Code of Ethics, but there's a grievance process. The industry itself lends itself to some doesn't have necessarily the best of reputations, but our members generally do. I'm comfortable recommending any of our members, but it doesn't mean conditions don't change in a business that make somebody make bad decisions. So we have had in our history, have we ever had any complaints? Sure. We've dealt with
Very
them.
few, though.
Very few.
Yeah.
No, I agree, and I think NARI does a great job making the remodeling industry have a higher standard, bringing the right people in and vetting the wrong people, getting them out. So that's awesome. Mike, if you'll stick around with us for our next segment, we would love to talk about how NARI is a vehicle for charity and gives back to the community. Stay with us. We'll be right back.